Winnie, a student from a poor family, is a radical feminist. She either smears glue all over the dress I wear for dates or secretly pours birth control pills into my water. Even after I caught her, she just shook her head and pouted. Do you really dress up just to please men? With your hopeless romantic brain, I'm afraid you'll get knocked up before marriage. I was shocked by her idiotic behavior. So I wanted to rent a place with my boyfriend, unexpectedly, after she found out. She called a few delinquents that same day to assault and kill me. I told you all men are no good, don't blame me. I was just helping you see their true colors. After I died, watching my grief-stricken boyfriend, she playfully leaned in. Although I'm a strong female lead, seeing how heartbroken you are, I'll reluctantly comfort you. My boyfriend refused, but she launched a cyberbullying campaign against him, and in the end, unable to bear the humiliation, he died for me. When I opened my eyes again, both my boyfriend and I had returned to the day when the impoverished student was promoting her feminism. Patriarchy is the core of oppression. Gender equality is not a privilege, but a right. In short, feminism should no longer be a gentle request. Winnie's impassioned shout rang out at the school gate, drawing the attention of many students and passers-by. This familiar scene and slogan left me utterly dumbfounded. Hadn't I already died? I died in a rented apartment, at the hands of a few blonde-haired thugs she brought with her. My childhood sweetheart boyfriend was also driven to death by her online harassment. Suddenly, my hand was gripped so tightly it felt like a piercing pain. Looking up, I met my boyfriend's bloodshot eyes, his voice trembling with emotion. Nancy, I'm sorry. It's all my fault for not protecting you. If only I hadn't gone to class that day, none of this would have happened. My nose tingled with sourness, and tears began to fall. So we've both been reborn. I reached out and pulled him into my arms, softly comforting him. It's okay, it's not your fault. It's all Winnie and those 3 thugs doing. Since God has given us this chance to start over, we must cherish it. That bitch Winnie must also die. I stared coldly at Winnie, who was still excitedly shouting slogans. She also made many radical feminist declarations, inciting many women to become extreme feminists. Pitting men and women against each other, turning what should be a beautiful university campus into a place of chaos and conflict. She talks a good game about feminism, but in reality, she's just using feminism as a cover to seek attention and make her boyfriend fall in love with her. She's not just a disgrace to society, she's downright despicable, and die in unbearable agony. Die in the most tragic and horrifying way. Although many people gathered to watch, not a single one echoed her words. Winnie grew a bit anxious. When she saw me and my boyfriend, her eyes instantly lit up, and she waved her hand, shouting loudly, Nancy, what are you standing there dumbfounded for? Hurry up and help me hand out flyers. You're a woman of the new century, after all, and the class monitor at that. Women are being suffocated by male oppression. How can you just stand by and do nothing? You enjoy the rights that countless women fought for with their blood and lives, yet you're so selfish. Not caring about the women who come after. Before the words could be finished, I had already slapped her twice across the face. The bustling school gate instantly fell silent, and everyone turned to look in our direction. Winnie covered her face, angrily saying, Why do you have the right to hit me? I rubbed my sore wrist and smiled. Didn't you say it yourself? Feminism shouldn't be a gentle request. The class monitor's responsibility is to coordinate class affairs, foster academic and study atmosphere, organize activities, and enhance class cohesion, and serve as a bridge for communication with school teachers, not to deliver extreme feminist speeches without any approval. I enjoy the rights that many women have fought for, allowing me to attend university, have parents who do not favor sons over daughters, and benefit from equal pay for equal work alongside men after graduation. I am grateful to them and learn from their unwavering and forward-moving spirit, striving to stand taller and help protect more women. But all of this is not so-called feminism, it is equality, true gender equality. My boyfriend was the first to applaud excitedly. Good, this is what true gender equality looks like. Immediately, the people around also started applauding and cheering. Our school is a top-tier university. Those who get in usually have decent intelligence and won't easily be brainwashed by her. Winnie flushed red with anger and shouted furiously, How could a woman give birth to a man-pleasing dog like you? Men have oppressed women for thousands of years. They must also suffer the hardships we once endured, or it wouldn't be fair. I curled my lips into a cold smile and sneered, No wonder you always fail your exams. Where in the world is there fairness? Men are born with stronger physical strength than women, while women, though physically delicate, possess the ability to bear children. What we pursue has never been fairness, but Justice, if you truly want to contribute a little to women's rights, then please study hard and don't embarrass us women." She pointed at my nose angrily and said, "You're just talking nonsense. Male professor sexually assaults female." I coldly interrupted. "Stop using extreme examples to support your fundamentally unsound ideas. Only bad people do wrong things. There is no distinction by gender. If you truly hate men so much, then you shouldn't have been born, because without your father, there wouldn't be you today, and you've grown up relying on financial support all your life. Many men have also contributed to funding you. If you have the guts, pay them back with interest. And stop accepting scholarships. Half of that money comes from men's taxes too." Winnie was left speechless by the retort. Clutching the flyers on the table, she glared at me fiercely and said, "The reason the path of feminism is so difficult is because of traitors like you. You will go to hell after you die." The smile on my lips grew even brighter. Of course, I crawled out of hell just to drag her down into it as well. The video of my argument with Winnie was posted by a classmate on the campus forum. It sparked a huge response, with the vast majority of students strongly supporting my viewpoint. What everyone has always wanted is not so-called male rights or female rights, but equal rights. What we pursue is the right to live equally. This post went viral, and both Winnie and I became well known to everyone. Just compared to the friendly gazes I received, she had it a bit rough. Being criticized by some extreme male chauvinists. After all, you reap what you sow. So she behaved herself for a little over half a month, not daring to post extreme feminist remarks on the campus forum anymore. She didn't even dare to hand out flyers promoting feminism at the school gate anymore. But once the hype around this incident died down, she started causing trouble again. Just like in her previous life, I had just bought a new yellow feather dress, and the moment I placed it on the chair, she stuck it to the seat. And the freshly poured water cup was also laced with white powder. I immediately called the counselor. She said with a smug expression, "What evidence do you have that I did all this? As long as I insist it wasn't me, there's nothing you can do about it. If you insist on making a fuss without reason, I'll sue you for defamation." The counselor nodded and said, "Winnie is right. Without evidence, she can indeed sue you for defamation." I took out the phone that had been recording nearby and smiled. "Who said there's no evidence? I was just filming a short video to document my life, and I happened to forget to turn it off when I went to the restroom." Winnie immediately flew into a rage. "Who told you to film videos in the dorm? You're violating my privacy. Don't you know that? Delete it right now, or I'll sue you for privacy violation." I curled my lips into a cold smile. "All right then, I'll just post this video online. Blur your face, and let everyone help us comment on it. How about that?" the counselor advised. "Friction between just two people is normal. There's no need to escalate things. Winnie, you just need to compensate her for this dress." Only then did she reluctantly say, "All right, how much?" "Consider it as giving to a beggar." I took the receipt out of my pocket and handed it to her with a smile. "Not much, just 18,000. I bought it yesterday, and here's the receipt. Will you pay in cash or Alipay?" She immediately let out a groundhog-like shriek. 18,000 for this shabby dress? Why don't you just go rob someone? I'm not paying for this. Feel free to post the video if you want." The counselor frowned and began trying to persuade me. 18,000 is indeed too much. As a college student, you have a responsibility to protect such an expensive dress in your dormitory. You also know Winnie is a financially struggling student. Her monthly living expenses are only 800 yuan, so let's just settle for her monthly allowance. 18,000, compensated with 800. It made me laugh out of sheer anger. I had expected the counselor to try to smooth things over, but I never expected him to be so agreeable. Winnie laughed with a hint of schadenfreude. "It's just 800 yuan, I'm willing to give it to you, but your new dress, worth 18,000, is ruined." What a huge loss. I didn't argue, but pointed at the water glass on the table. I saw Winnie put something in my water glass. It definitely wasn't anything good. If even a single cent of the 18,000 is missing, I'll call the police and have this sent for testing. I remember the college student poisoning case was quite a big deal, wasn't it? Immediately, Winnie's expression changed drastically, and she snatched the water glass away. I picked up my phone and dialed 911. "You'd better have destroyed it, so I can claim it was poison inside, then you'll be waiting to go to jail." Now Winnie was truly regretful and anxious. "I didn't put poison in it, just birth control pills. When I saw you were going to put on such a beautiful dress, I knew it was to please a man. For someone as hopelessly love-struck as you, I was afraid you'd get pregnant before marriage and have your belly swollen by someone. I did this all for your own good," I sneered. "You can save all that for the police to explain." Seeing that I was really going to call the police, the counselor hurriedly said, 18,000, I'll make Winnie compensate you every penny. Please, don't call the police. If this gets out, it will create negative public opinion for the school and affect your chances of pursuing graduate studies or a PhD. Both of you should take a step back. Winnie, apologize to Nancy right now and compensate her with 18,000. If there's a next time, you'll receive a major demerit, Nancy. Don't be too high profile in your actions and behavior from now on. Once you receive the money, delete the video immediately. Of course, we can't call the police, because the invoice for 18,000 yuan isn't for this dress at all. It's just for something from a street stall that cost 18 yuan. I mentioned this to my boyfriend while we were having hot pot in the evening. He said helplessly and with concern, Nancy, you're such a foodie. How come you didn't tell me about such a big thing earlier? What if that crazy woman suddenly had an episode and hurt you? I said with a smile as I picked up a piece of tripe with my chopsticks. I contacted the counselor right away and recorded the whole thing. There's no what if about it. My boyfriend was still a bit shaken. What if the counselor is in cahoots with Winnie? Didn't you hear how biased he was toward her the whole time? I stuffed a piece of tripe into his mouth. Got it, got it. I'll be more careful next time and won't confront her directly again. Besides, she doesn't have the capability to collude with the counselor. She has no money, no connections, and no background. Suddenly thinking of something, she added, according to the timeline, she should be trying to seduce you soon. After all, you're rich and handsome, and you treat me so well. She must hate me to death right now. So she really wants to steal you away just to spite me, my boyfriend sneered. His eyes filled with a chilling gleam. She better come and seduce me sooner rather than later. I couldn't help but light a metaphorical lantern in my heart for Winnie. My boyfriend appears gentle, refined, and kind, but after being reborn, he has wanted to kill her countless times. I thought it would take Winnie a long time to gather the money. Unexpectedly, she managed to raise 18,000 that very night and transferred it to me, to prevent her from causing trouble. I also made her write a self-criticism. Although she was reluctant, she obediently followed the counselor's instructions and wrote it. I also deleted the video from my phone in front of them. As for the cloud backup, they didn't ask about it. Winnie started acting completely out of character, beginning to curry favor with me. Class monitor, I cleaned the dormitory toilet, spent over half an hour scrubbing it. Class monitor, are you going to eat? Do you want me to bring you a meal? Class monitor, I saved you a seat. Come sit next to me quickly. These bizarre scenes set off alarm bells in my mind. If you think she suddenly had a change of heart and realized her mistakes, that's absolutely impossible. After a week of this, I finally understood her intentions. She was doing all this to make the classmates believe I had forgiven her and that we were still good friends. So everyone's attitude towards her has softened quite a bit. At this point, she took the opportunity to suggest to me that the class should have a team-building gathering for afternoon tea. Class monitor, you know I was immature a while back and had some disagreements with everyone. This time, I want to use this opportunity to ask for everyone's forgiveness. Class monitor, I'm counting on you, given that things have come to this point. I really can't refuse. But using class funds for afternoon tea, boys don't have such a bourgeois taste. However, many girls were still tempted and suggested going Dutch. My boyfriend also got a few guys from the dorm involved, just in case she tried to pull something and hurt me. It was just an ordinary class dinner. Winnie spent 3 hours in the dorm putting on a full, flawless makeup look, then slipped into a pink spaghetti strap top and a sequined miniskirt, paired with black high heels. The moment I saw her in that outfit, I instantly understood. These days of flattery were just to counteract her boyfriend's previous dislike of her. This time, the main focus was to seduce him. She had the patience and perseverance for this. If only she had applied it to her studies, she wouldn't have failed and had to retake exams every time. The afternoon tea was at a very chic cafe, perfect for taking photos. She took the initiative to help take photos with her phone and kept praising her boyfriend in various ways. Harry, you're so good to the class monitor. I've never seen such a great boyfriend before, bringing her breakfast every day, helping her get lunch at noon, and even climbing out to buy her midnight snacks when she says she's hungry in the early hours of the morning. I heard you two were even middle school classmates, and you turned down studying abroad for her. A boyfriend as good as you is really rare. Should take a few more photos of you to show other guys and let them learn from you. The boyfriend flatly refused. No need, I don't like taking photos. Winnie reached out to wrap her arm around his, but her boyfriend quickly dodged. She chuckled. Don't be shy, there's nothing to avoid about taking a photo. Everyone else also laughed and teased along. Wow, I didn't expect the class monitor's husband to be so shy, since he's so handsome. Just let Winnie take a few photos and post them on the forum for everyone to admire." Amidst the laughter and teasing, my boyfriend pretended to be forced into taking a few photos. Her way of seducing people is quite simple and direct. While taking photos, she would casually reveal her sexy cleavage, and when squatting down to take pictures, her lace underwear was clearly visible. Then she trotted over to him, speaking in a sweet, coquettish tone, "Harry is really super handsome. No matter the angle, he looks so good. Your body proportions are also amazing, broad shoulders and a narrow waist. It just looks so appealing, like the legendary pile driver." Such suggestive words instantly made her boyfriend's face flush red, and he turned around and walked away. "This has reached the limit of tolerance. I'm going to ask the boss for the surveillance footage of this private room. Such blatant sexual harassment is serious enough to warrant calling the police." She thought she had successfully flirted with her boyfriend and made him shy, feeling quite proud of herself. After waiting for a while and still not seeing her boyfriend, she went over to the group of boys sitting by the window. Among them, John's girlfriend is a pretty girl from the neighboring music department. She's good-looking and has a great personality, so we all like her quite a bit. But then she started spreading rumors about the girls in the music department. "A few days ago, I went shopping and saw your girlfriend going to the cinema with a guy. I remember that day your girlfriend was wearing a pink Lolita dress, which was really eye-catching. I spotted them from far away, and they seemed quite intimate. If I didn't know better, I would have thought they were a couple." John's face instantly turned grim. He retorted, "Impossible. She wasn't feeling well the day before yesterday and was resting in the dormitory. How could she have gone out?" Winnie blinked her eyes. "Why would I lie to you? I have nothing to gain from it. I'm only telling you this as a friend, because I'm worried you might be getting tricked by your girlfriend. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Anyway, I wasn't the only one who saw it back then. Several other classmates saw it too. I've always said your girlfriend is too pretty. Lots of rich guys are after her. I even saw her being dropped off late at night by an old man driving a luxury car." I immediately spoke up to refute it. "Weren't you sleeping in the dorm all day the day before yesterday? When did you go out?" "How come I didn't know?" she said casually. "Then maybe I remembered wrong. It was the day before yesterday. Anyway, it happened sometime this past week." Class monitor, "I'm a feminist. I never wrongfully accuse or slander any woman." Her feminist image was deeply ingrained, and John's expression also turned completely unpleasant. He got up and walked out. Heading to the school to confront his girlfriend, I quickly said to the boys nearby, "You guys hurry and keep an eye on John. He's a sports student with a really bad temper. Try to calm him down." Upon hearing this, they quickly got up and went after him. Winnie crossed her arms, wearing an expression of someone watching the show. Class monitor, "You just love meddling in other people's business. You even enjoy sticking your nose into the affairs of a couple." I struggled to hold back my anger. "You never even saw his girlfriend going to the movies with someone else. Why are you slandering her? What good does it do you to watch others argue and fall out?" she said with a smile. "It's just a test of how much they trust each other. If John trusts his girlfriend, then what I just said is as good as unsaid. If he doesn't, it proves there's a problem with their relationship, and they should break up sooner rather than later. A girl's youth is very valuable. I'm doing this for her own good." I knew she was sick, but I still underestimated how sick she was. As soon as I reached the dormitory door in the evening, I heard crying coming from inside. Pushing the door open, I saw John's girlfriend, Kathy, sobbing in Winnie's arms. "What right does he have to suspect me of cheating? Every day, aside from going to class, I've been following him around. Even when the sun was scorching, I still went with him to play soccer. And yet he still wrongfully accused me. His ex-girlfriend came looking for him a while ago, and I happened to run into them. He said it was nothing, and I believed him, so why doesn't he believe me? He even said I'm not behaving properly, but it's him who's not behaving properly." Winnie nodded in agreement. "Exactly, it's his own lack of self-control that led him to wrongfully accuse you. The incident with his ex-girlfriend coming to see him, our whole class knows about it. She was giving him flowers at the school gate, even buying him sneakers. He told you he turned her down, but in reality, he never refused at all. If you hadn't shown up, they probably would have gone to a hotel that night. And also, I've heard them talking about sexy babes several times, looking at adult magazines, and saying your figure is just average, not as good as his ex-girlfriend." Her face instantly flushed red with extreme anger. "That bastard John, I must have been blind to have fallen for him back then. I'm going back right now to gather all the things he gave me and return them." such a despicable, disgusting man is truly repulsive." With that, she ran out. I didn't even have a chance to stop her. Winnie looked at me with a smug expression and said, "I just said a few random things. And they all took it seriously. How foolish. I told you that men are not to be trusted." With just a few words of provocation from me, they went to cause trouble for their girlfriends. Now you believe me, right? Women should just be independent and self-reliant. Why rush to serve men, especially someone like her, who is so outstanding in every way, yet still acts like a love-struck fool? It's laughable. I couldn't hold back any longer and slapped her hard across the face. "Do you know she has depression and only managed to cope with it because of John? If anything happens to her, you'll be waiting to be cursed to death." Winnie looked somewhat uneasy as she said, "What does that have to do with me? I was just saying it casually. Can't I even make a joke? Besides, as an adult, if she lacks the ability to discern right from wrong, that's her own problem. Don't even think about blaming me. I don't have time to argue with her, so I call my boyfriend. I ask my boyfriend to persuade John to go and comfort his girlfriend as soon as possible, but my boyfriend says that after their argument, he went out drinking with his friends and is already drunk, so I hurried to find the little one. I even mobilized all the girls in the class to help search. For the first time, I felt that having a school that was too big wasn't a good thing. We searched for over half an hour, and some classmates even went to look around the lake behind the cafeteria. I was afraid something might have happened to her. In the end, we found her on the top floor of the teaching building. Usually this place is locked. I don't know where she got the key from. She had already climbed onto the railing beside her, her white long dress fluttering, her makeup long since ruined by tears. Amidst the fiery sunset clouds, she appeared so pitiful and sorrowful. "Don't come any closer, or I'll jump." We hurriedly stepped back several paces. Her gaze swept over us. And not seeing John, her heart instantly turned to ashes. I knew it. He doesn't love me anymore. He doesn't even care about my death. Then, since that's the case, there's no meaning for me to keep living. Winnie was genuinely panicking now and hurriedly tried to persuade her. "Kathy, don't do anything foolish. Even if John doesn't want you, you still have your parents. If they found out you died for a man, how heartbroken and disappointed would they be?" Kathy, who had been relatively stable just moments before, instantly broke down. "My parents both jumped into the sea and committed suicide when I was 18. If it weren't for John, I would have died long ago. Now he doesn't love me anymore, and no one in this world loves me. I want to jump off the building. I want John to regret it for the rest of his life." As soon as she finished speaking, her body leaned outward. She was about to jump. I hurriedly shouted loudly, "If you really die, then I'll introduce him to 8 or 10 girlfriends later. He's so handsome and plays basketball so well. Plenty of girls like him. He might be sad about your death for a few days, but he'll forget soon enough. Maybe he'll even bring his new girlfriend to burn paper money at your grave. If I were you, anyone who dares to steal my boyfriend, I'd go and kill her. After all, if you don't even care about dying, what else is there to care about? Even if I have to break his legs, I'll tie him up with a rope. Even if we have to die, it must be by your hand. Only then will we be together in the next life, entangled for all eternity." Clearly, she was convinced by my words. Her eyes even grew fervent, but suddenly her expression dimmed again. "But he doesn't love me anymore. Is there any meaning in me doing this?" I quickly nodded. "If he really didn't love you, he wouldn't have gone to confront you the moment he heard the rumors. Nor would he have been so angry that he trembled all over but still didn't dare to lay a hand on you, and he certainly wouldn't have gotten drunk with his friends and nearly ended up in the hospital." Hearing this, she hurriedly climbed down from the railing. "His health isn't good. How could he drink? I'm going to find him right now and take him to the hospital." Everyone couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when they saw her like this. Winnie also had a sharp tongue. "To be so desperate over a man, it's really embarrassing for us women." I raised my hand and gave her 2 more slaps. "You have the nerve to say that. If it weren't for you spreading rumors on both sides, how could she have attempted suicide? You were almost a murderer. I demand that the counselor issue a public criticism against her, and she must receive a major demerit. This request is not excessive, but unexpectedly, the counselor directly refused. This matter has already been resolved. There's no need to escalate it further. It wouldn't be good for Kathy's reputation. Winnie, you should apologize to both of them later and be more careful in the future." "All right, everyone, let's disperse now. Keep this matter confidential and don't spread it around. Otherwise, if it's discovered, don't even think about getting your certificates. This blatant favoritism is just too obvious." It's normal for a counselor to downplay major issues, but this time it almost cost someone their life. And it doesn't have much to do with him anyway, yet he still chose to cover for her. There must be something wrong. After the crowd dispersed, my boyfriend spoke with certainty. This counselor is suspicious. I'll have someone look into it right away. I nodded in agreement. Indeed, he would rather face the school's accountability than let it go. Their relationship must be anything but ordinary. The man gently patted my head and said, "Just now, you did an excellent job. You didn't just save Kathy's life, you also saved John's entire family. If she really died, he would definitely jump off the building out of guilt. His parents had him late in life, and he is their everything." I also felt a bit of lingering fear as I said, "Fortunately, I enjoy watching psychology-related TV shows and was able to apply what I learned." "That troublemaker Winnie can't be allowed to stay any longer," my boyfriend sneered coldly. "The school anniversary is in half a month. We'll expose those indecent photos and messages she privately sent me then. She loves spreading rumors and cyberbullying, so we'll make sure she's socially ruined. I've also found those 3 blonde delinquents. When the time comes," I shook my head and said, "since she's a woman, there are many ways to make her wish she were dead." "There's no need to use this method," my boyfriend sighed. "You're just too kind, even after all she's done to you." "Kind, certainly, but mainly I don't want her to die so cheaply. I want to torment her fiercely, for myself, for my boyfriend, and for the others she has hurt." Returning to the dorm, I saw Winnie sitting with her legs crossed, applying a face mask. Seeing me return, he gave me a mocking smile. "You still want me to get a public reprimand and a major demerit, class monitor? You sure have a heart of stone. Too bad, though, I just went to see both of them, and they've already forgiven me. This matter is over and done with," I said with a half smile. "Did the counselor go with you?" "The counselor is really good to you." She proudly lifted her chin and said, "Of course, I'm the #1 feminist at the school. Being so outstanding and independent, it's only natural to receive special treatment. With someone like her who causes trouble everywhere. Not just the counselor, even the teachers keep their distance from her. Normally, when we go to ask the professor questions, it's fine as long as there's a female student accompanying us. She's different. When she goes to ask the professor questions, the professor insists on stepping out of the office and into the hallway, where there are surveillance cameras, before he'll talk to her." When she first entered the school, a boy accidentally bumped into her while waiting in line for food, and she accused him of harassment. While others take selfies with their phones, she accuses them of secretly photographing her. It wasn't until she encountered a senior from the law department and was disciplined that she finally settled down. She often sends revealing and sexy photos to harass her boyfriend. It's clear she definitely isn't the counselor's lover. Could she be his illegitimate daughter? Thinking of this possibility, my eyes lit up. The counselor's wife is very fierce. Once, he glanced at a female student a few times too many and got slapped in public. He was so scared that he kept apologizing and admitting his mistake. The next day, my boyfriend excitedly called me. It said that Winnie is indeed the illegitimate daughter of the counselor, and her mother has had improper relationships with multiple men. In short, the counselor is her mother's client. But he doesn't know he's just one of many. A question suddenly occurred to me. If that's the case, how is she still a financially disadvantaged student? Logically speaking, she should have money. The boyfriend sneered coldly. Because the counselor couldn't come up with money for her living expenses, they applied for a poverty-stricken student quota for her. The financial aid she received would then serve as her living expenses. This reasoning really made perfect sense. There were still a few days left until the school anniversary celebration, to be absolutely certain. I pretended to have a fight with my boyfriend, just like in her previous life. She dressed very seductively to seduce my boyfriend, only to find out that he was drinking at a bar with a male classmate. She eagerly ran over and secretly slipped drugs into my boyfriend's drink. In the end, my boyfriend switched the drinks and even arranged for a bar promoter to handle the situation. It was quite an exciting night. The bar promoters are already used to these freebies that come knocking on their door, sleep and then leave. When Winnie woke up in the morning, she thought it was her boyfriend. She proudly posted a selfie on her social media, showing a hickey on her collarbone. "My boyfriend bit me. He's so fierce. He even specifically ed me." I commented, "Isn't your boyfriend human?" She replied instantly, "Of course he's human, but he's just really fierce in bed. He even hurt me." I replied, "If you're sick, go to the hospital. Coming to me won't help." Are you crazy?" I turned to ask my boyfriend, who was playing games next to me, "Is that marketer crazy or not?" My boyfriend didn't even look up. "No idea. Just did it without thinking." I am speechless. My boyfriend finished a game and opened the green bubble app. "Wow, Winnie sent dozens of messages. She directly called him husband, and sent very revealing photos to seduce him. My boyfriend's eyes were filled with disgust. With only 1 week left until the school anniversary, we can finally settle things with her for good. The counselor's wife is sure to come too. Whether she lives or dies will depend on her fate then. The corners of my mouth lifted in a smile. Then we can sue her for defamation and sexual harassment. Even if she doesn't go to jail, she'll at least be detained for 10 days. Plus, she drugged people at the bar and has a chaotic personal life. Her life is completely ruined, of course. All of this is just the appetizer. The real revenge is yet to come. The school's 80th anniversary celebration was especially lively. The leaders from the Education Bureau, the dean, and the professors all attended, and many journalists were invited to conduct live interviews. My boyfriend is a host, and I've seen so many handsome faces that I've become immune to them. But seeing him in a proper suit and tie still made my heart flutter. After the final performance, when he was delivering the closing remarks, Winnie presented him with a large bouquet of roses. She also took the microphone and loudly declared her feelings. Harry, today marks our 1-week anniversary of being together. I am a strong, independent woman who never bows to any man, but for you, I am willing to lower my noble head. My boyfriend immediately frowned and said with disgust, "Who is your boyfriend? Don't talk nonsense. My girlfriend is Nancy. Both sets of parents have met. And we have a great relationship. We're just waiting to graduate to get married." Winnie said angrily, "If you're not my boyfriend, why did you sleep with me? Then I'll sue you for rape." My boyfriend's long suppressed, overwhelming anger finally didn't need to be held back anymore. "You've been harassing me with messages for 2 months straight, and now you dare to spread rumors and slander me. It's not like you don't have a history of this kind of thing. If you don't call the police, I will." Sexual harassment, defamation. The leaders in the audience, who were about to leave after watching the show, all stopped in their tracks. The classmates who had already left all came back in, crowding around the stage. Watching a spectacle is something ingrained in our bones. The counselor saw that things were getting out of hand. He hurried onto the stage, pulling Winnie aside, and said, "If you have something to say, say it in private. Don't make a scene here." Winnie immediately sat down on the floor, crying and shouting, "You shameless heartbreaker. Harry, you put on your pants and don't recognize people anymore. You slept with me, so you have to marry me. Otherwise, I'll go to the bar and check the surveillance footage, accuse you of raping me, and then marry you after you get out of prison." This train of thought is absolutely mind-blowing. My boyfriend took out his phone and called the police directly. Seeing this, the counselor hurriedly snatched his phone and said, "Don't call the police." The boyfriend sneered and interrupted, "Why can't we call the police?" Before, when she glued 502 on my girlfriend's skirt and put crushed birth control pills in her cup, you just brushed it off. Later, when she spread malicious rumors about the girl, almost driving her to jump off a building, you still tried to smooth things over. Now that she's publicly insulting and slandering me, you're still protecting her. Could it be that she's your—" Before he could finish, the counselor angrily shouted, "Don't talk nonsense. I am the counselor, and I care about every student." At that moment, a woman's voice, full of vigor and seething with anger, rang out, "You're something else, David. How dare you mess around behind my back and even father a love child? Where is that slut Winnie? Your mother, that bitch, dares to steal my husband. Today, I'll skin you first, then go find your slutty mother." Winnie knew exactly how fierce this tigress could be. Just as she was about to run, her boyfriend grabbed her and shouted, "Auntie, this is Winnie." No wonder the counselor would rather lose his job than protect her. Turns out she's his illegitimate daughter. Just like a mother who's a mistress, her daughter is no good either. Sending me naked photos every day and falsely accusing me of sleeping with her. It's true that ugly people cause the most trouble. Just one more look and I feel sick to my stomach. Winnie's face flushed red with anger, and she pointed at her boyfriend's nose, ready to curse, but I slapped her twice, making her stagger. "Didn't you say you hated men the most? Didn't you call yourself a strong, independent woman? Is this what you call feminism?" It's nothing but using the guise of feminism to seduce my boyfriend. How utterly ridiculous. The counselor's wife was just 3 meters away. I leaned in and sneered into her ear. The man that night wasn't my boyfriend, he was a promoter from the bar. Her eyes instantly turned blood red, and she shook off her boyfriend's hand that was holding her back, wanting to come at me, only to be kicked to the ground by the counselor's wife. The attack was truly vicious. Punches and kicks were nothing. She even stomped on her stomach with stiletto heels. Instantly, she let out a heart-wrenching scream. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. The the security guards quickly arrived and put a stop to the commotion. The ambulance and the police arrived together. Winnie was placed on a stretcher, her blood staining it red. None of the classmates showed any sympathy. They all said she deserved it. Winnie suffered a uterine rupture, 8 broken ribs, and a completely shattered fracture in her right hand. Her own mother didn't rush to the hospital to see her first. Instead, she went to the counselor's wife to demand money, took 200,000 yuan for medical expenses, and then ran off directly, leaving her at the hospital. She was kicked out because she couldn't pay, and with nowhere to go, she thought of returning to school. But her boyfriend sent the videos and photos of his sexual harassment over these days to the principal, demanding serious action, otherwise he would directly report it to the police. The school was initially hesitant, but they discovered that she had repeatedly skipped classes and failed courses, seriously violating the rules, and that her application materials were falsified, making her completely ineligible for financial aid. So they directly issued a notice of expulsion and demanded that she repay the financial aid she had received over the years. She didn't dare go to school anymore and rented a place outside to recuperate. Classmates and teachers all received messages from her asking to borrow money. My boyfriend and I also received them. My boyfriend directly sent a lawyer's letter, and she immediately blocked and deleted us. It's not that my boyfriend and I are kind-hearted and didn't sue her, but rather fear that after suing, she would be too comfortable in jail. After all, it provides food and shelter. While outside, she relies on high-interest loans to rent a place and buy medicine. After she recovered, she went straight to work at a KTV, becoming a hostess. Thus began the long and arduous journey of repaying the high-interest loans. Half a month later, when my boyfriend and I were walking through the back alley after shopping, we were stopped by 3 blonde-haired guys. They were holding fruit knives, intending to rob me and verbally harass me, trying to harm me. Yesterday, the self-defense law under public security management has been updated. As long as it doesn't exceed the necessary extent, then it's fine. There were 3 of them, all still holding fruit knives, and they even wanted to humiliate me. That's just stacking buffs to the max. 5 minutes later, I nervously and fearfully called the police. Then the police called 3 ambulances and had them all taken away. Watching the 3 of them lying in hospital beds, with broken ribs and comminuted fractures, I couldn't help but smile. And this was just the appetizer. After they recover from their illness, they will all be sent in. Robbery, attempted rape, plus prior criminal records. Combined, they will receive the maximum sentence of 15 years. During their 15 years in prison, each day they will endure painful torment, praying for a new life after release. But after their release, that is when their truly painful life begins. On graduation day, 3 joys arrive at once. Get the graduation certificate, marriage certificate, and Winnie's death notice. Actually, she should have died long ago. High-interest loans, working as a hostess in a KTV, perverted customers. Just think about how difficult her life must have been. Several times when she wanted to end her life, I gave her hope, only to let her watch it shatter. This time, she took too many drugs, went completely insane, and ran naked into the street, run over by a convoy of large trucks, one after another. More than 30 trucks passed by. Her bones and flesh were stuck to the ground, and the traffic police had to use shovels for a long time to barely scrape them off. Truly, justice is served, and retribution is inevitable. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. The class beauty snatched the bag I had my eye on at the counter. He said with a smug expression, "You poor wretch, even if you stare at this bag until it blooms, you still can't afford it. Unlike me, I'm the future daughter-in-law of the richest man. With this unlimited black card, I could even buy your life." I couldn't help but scratch my head. Where did my parents suddenly get another son who can get married? Could the only child certificate at home be fake? Before I could think it through, my phone received a spending notification from the supplementary card for buying a bag, and the amount matched exactly the price of the class beauty's bag. I quickly realized it was my fiancé pretending to be the son of the richest man and giving my card to the class beauty. However, not only did I not make a fuss, I even volunteered to join the class beauty's cruise trip, watching as the class beauty was about to foot the bill for the entire class. Then I deactivated this supplementary card. I clearly saw the card number, and combined with the consumption message I had just received, I was absolutely certain that the card used by the class beauty, Tina Lincoln, was the supplementary card I had given to my fiancé, Lucas. I immediately wanted to call and ask Lucas what was going on, but upon hearing the phrase, daughter-in-law of the richest man, I put down my phone and tentatively asked, "Are you talking about the Duncan family?" The richest in RL City, Tina Lincoln, while looking at the bag in her hand, smiled smugly and said, "Of course, how many richest men could there be, with my qualifications? Only the son of a real richest man is worthy of me. This kind of bag that costs over 100,000 is only good enough for my housekeeper to use for grocery shopping. I bought it because I liked it. I really didn't mean to snatch it from you. But never mind, you wouldn't understand even if I explained. We're from two different social classes. Even if I told you, you still wouldn't get it." I clenched my phone tightly, trying hard to control my emotions, but I heard the child of Green City's richest person is a daughter. How could there be a son? This time, Tina Lincoln didn't need to explain herself. She gave a look to the three followers beside her, and all three rolled their eyes at me in unison, chattering away. "What do you know? This is called keeping a low profile. Protecting the child's safety. If everyone knew the richest person had a son, do you realize how dangerous that would be? Look at your ignorant self. Aren't you also regretting that you shouldn't have fallen out with our Tina back then? You looked down on Tina back then, but now, just a little bit that Tina let slip through her fingers is enough for you to earn in a lifetime." I ignored the three of them and continued speaking to Tina Lincoln. The richest family previously held a grand engagement banquet. Although no photos were leaked, everyone knows about it. "Could it be that you were the female lead of that engagement banquet?" Tina Lincoln's expression changed. "What do you know? Lucas does have a fiancée, but he doesn't love her. It's just a business marriage. I'm his true love." I had thought of many possibilities to explain today's situation, but upon hearing the name, Lucas, I could no longer deceive myself. The truth was, my childhood husband was using the supplementary card I gave him to support someone else. As I realized this, my expression grew increasingly grim. However, in Tina Lincoln's eyes, my expression wasn't one of anger but of jealousy, which made her quite happy. She couldn't help but laugh. All right, everyone was just joking with you. I'm not that petty. Even if I really did hold a grudge against you before, that's all in the past now. From now on, as the daughter-in-law of the wealthiest family, I can't hold on to childish grudges, so I've decided to forgive you." As soon as these words were spoken, the three followers once again chimed in with their flattery. I just found it laughable. In my view, there wasn't any major conflict between Tina Lincoln and me. It was just that one time in class when I marked her as late, but her academic credits aren't high, and if she gets more deductions, it might affect her graduation. So she came to me and said sarcastically, "I just went out with my boyfriend and forgot about class time. You can't be jealous of me just because you can't find a boyfriend yourself and deliberately mark me as late, can you?" Naturally, I didn't have time to deal with her and impartially marked her as late. Looking back now, that boyfriend back then was probably Lucas. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Tina Lincoln continued, "I've arranged a 7-day, 7-night cruise trip. It's to celebrate graduation and also my last taste of freedom before marrying into the wealthiest family. Once I'm married, I won't be able to hang out with everyone anymore. The whole class is coming, and I'll allow you to come too." I originally wanted to immediately cut ties with Lucas and even report him to the police, but seeing Tina Lincoln's condescending attitude and thinking about how Lucas dared to treat me like this, I couldn't just let them off so easily, so I smiled and said, "Great, I'll definitely be there." Over the next few days, I stayed put, pretending to know nothing. I even endured the disgust and had a meal with Lucas's family to discuss the wedding arrangements. I arrived at the ferry terminal at the time Tina Lincoln had mentioned. Just as she said, almost all of our classmates were there, gathered around Tina Lincoln, chattering away with envy and flattery. "Oh my God, Tina, renting this cruise ship for a week must cost a fortune, right? How ignorant. Tina is the daughter-in-law of the wealthiest family. Renting out a cruise ship is nothing. Even 10 would be a drop in the water for her. From now on, Tina will be my connection. I can finally say I know someone from the top tier." All these discussions came to an abrupt halt the moment I appeared. In my view, there was no real conflict between me and Tina Lincoln, but she had exaggerated the situation to the whole class, turning everyone against me. So when she saw me, the class monitor, Helen, sneered, "What are you doing here? Weren't you the one who couldn't stand Tina dating and deliberately marked her late? Now that you know her partner is from the wealthiest family, you're here to get a piece of the pie. You really have some nerve, don't you?" I didn't pay any attention to Helen, while sending a message to the bank's customer service manager to confirm that the supplementary card had been deactivated. I said to Tina Lincoln, "Didn't you say it was a cruise? Why is everyone standing here?" Tina Lincoln pointed at the cruise ship. "I only paid a deposit for this cruise. Today, I need to pay the remaining balance to board. The captain just sent someone to take my card. Once it's processed, we can go up. I know this might be the only time in your life you get to ride a luxury cruise, but there's no need to rush. As soon as the words were spoken, the captain ran over with my supplementary card, apologetically saying to Tina Lincoln, "Ms. Yi, for some reason, this card isn't working. Could you please use another one?" Tina Lincoln was taken aback, her face instantly turning pale. Naturally, she couldn't produce any other card to swipe, but she didn't show any sign of weakness. Instead, she spoke with righteous indignation. "How could it not go through? Why don't you try swiping it a few more times? Someone of my status wouldn't carry so many cards when going out. I only have this one, so hurry up and swipe it again. Also, before you speak, think about who I am. I'm the future daughter-in-law of the Duncan family, the wealthiest family in the country. You should weigh my status carefully before opening your mouth." The captain stood still without moving. Although he wasn't part of the upper class, he had seen plenty of wealthy people in his line of work. How could he possibly say something so dismissive? It's easy to imagine that he must have tried countless times, confirming that the card couldn't be swiped, before personally coming down to request a card replacement. The students had no idea what was happening and thought it was a network issue causing the card swipe to fail, so they were all quite angry. "What's going on with you? How could a perfectly good card fail to swipe? This is a supplementary card given by the son of the richest man, a card with no spending limit. It could not only charter a cruise ship but even buy one outright. Hurry up and step aside. It's fine if you offend us, but if you offend the future daughter-in-law of the richest man, you won't be able to survive in this industry anymore. If you don't believe me, just call the bank and see if this card belongs to the richest family." The captain looked speechless. He quickly spotted me in the crowd, and I shook my head at him, then gave him a meaningful look. Understanding my signal, the captain immediately stepped aside and respectfully ushered everyone onto the cruise ship. No one knew what was really happening. They thought the captain was letting everyone board first and swipe their cards later out of respect for Tina Lincoln. Even Tina Lincoln herself was stunned, murmuring, "Is the title of daughter-in-law of the richest family really that powerful? We can board the cruise ship without even swiping the card." Perhaps it was the captain's overly respectful attitude toward her, or perhaps she was dazzled by the luxury after boarding the cruise ship, but she grew increasingly smug. She directly took the microphone on the stage and loudly addressed the crowd. "There are plenty of places to shop on the cruise ship, so feel free to browse around. If you see anything you like, just buy it. I'll cover everything. Anyway, my card has no spending limit. Consider this money as a thank you gift for taking care of me over the past 3 years of college. After all, I'm someone who knows how to repay kindness. If anyone doesn't buy anything, it means they look down on me." Tina Lincoln. With Tina Lincoln's words, everyone was naturally thrilled. However, Helen was a bit worried. "Tina, the card just got declined earlier. Are you sure?" Before she could finish speaking, Tina Lincoln interrupted. "Helen, it was just a network issue earlier. I just called Lucas, and if he had frozen my card, wouldn't I know about it?" The classmates blamed Helen for speaking out of turn, criticizing her for ruining the mood. Helen didn't dare say another word and, like everyone else, treated Tina Lincoln's words as gospel. She led the entire class straight to the various high-end boutiques on the cruise ship. In the days that followed, everyone in the class except me lived a life of luxury and indulgence. No one cared whether they needed something or not. If they found it interesting at a glance, they simply bought it, all on Tina Lincoln's tab, and Tina Lincoln held herself even higher, with everyone at her beck and call. And so, the days flew by, and a week quickly passed. Everyone followed Tina Lincoln, still reluctant to leave. As they waited to disembark from the yacht, however, the captain stopped them. Holding a bank card, "Ms. Yi, we just tried again, and this bank card still isn't working. Moreover, we've already called the bank to check. It's not a network issue. Your card has been suspended." Perhaps afraid that Tina Lincoln wouldn't believe it, the captain even took out a recording of the call. It wasn't until they heard the customer service representative on the other end clearly state that the card had been suspended that the truth sank in. Tina Lincoln was truly panicked now. Stammering for a long time without managing to say a word, the captain took out a long bill, pointing at the numbers on it as he said to Tina Lincoln, "You all spent over $6 million on the cruise ship. You definitely have to pay this money before you can disembark. If you can't pay, then we'll have no choice but to call the police. In that case, the money might have to be split equally among all of you." The moment the words, "call the police," were spoken, the entire class was terrified. "We can't call the police, we just graduated," and our wonderful lives are just beginning. How can we risk having a criminal record? That's right, Tina, hurry up and pay. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have dared to spend so recklessly. My family doesn't have that much money. I really don't want to become a deadbeat. You're the daughter-in-law of the richest man. Surely you can't be short of 6 million, right? Everyone was chattering non-stop. And a few people were so frightened they started crying. The more carefree they had been on the cruise ship, the more humiliated they felt now. Tina Lincoln was also a bit anxious. She couldn't understand why a perfectly good card had been suspended, but true to her status as Lucas's true love, she quickly calmed down. Don't worry, everyone, there must be something wrong with this card, but it's okay. I just called my husband, and he'll be here soon. Once he arrives, he'll pay for everyone. And we definitely won't have to escalate this to calling the police. The crowd reluctantly calmed down, staring blankly at the ferry dock. After about 20 minutes, Tina Lincoln excitedly shouted toward the ferry below, "Husband, husband, I'm over here." Although I had long been certain that Tina Lincoln's husband was Lucas, I couldn't help but grit my teeth when I actually saw him board the yacht. Tina Lincoln ran to Lucas's side like a wronged little wife, pouting and mumbling, "Husband. What's going on? Why was the card you gave me frozen? I was thinking of inviting everyone out to celebrate after graduation, but when it came time to pay, the card wouldn't swipe. It was so embarrassing." Lucas looked bewildered until he saw the card number clearly. Then his face turned pale. "Who told you to use this card? I gave you money, didn't I? Why did you take this card?" Tina Lincoln was taken aback. "Honey, you said it yourself. Your things are mine. Why can't I use it? Besides, you did give me money, but the amount was only enough for the deposit on the yacht charter. You're so busy, I couldn't keep calling you for more money, could I? That's why I took your supplementary card." Isn't it only natural for a husband to give his wife a supplementary card? Seeing that Lucas was about to speak again, Tina Lincoln lowered her voice. "My classmates are all here. Can you give me some face? If you don't pay, and everyone posts about it online, it won't just be me who's embarrassed." Lucas also realized there were many people around and quickly chuckled. "I mean, why didn't you tell me you took this card? I thought it was lost, so I asked the account manager to freeze it." "Don't worry, everyone, Tina's promises to you are all valid. I'll call the account manager right now and have her reactivate the card, rest assured." After saying that, Lucas picked up his phone and started making a call. The next second, my phone rang. Lucas looked over at the sound, and the moment he saw me clearly, his face turned ashen. How are you here?" I hung up the phone, walked up to Lucas, and smiled. "Don't you know? Your wife and I are classmates." "What? Aren't you going to introduce us?" These words were dripping with sarcasm, and even a fool could tell that there was something unusual between me and Lucas. The classmates also forgot about the 6 million yuan matter, and one by one, they turned into enthusiastic gossipers, chattering away as they started discussing, "What does that mean? Does Rachel Lynn have something going on with Tina Lincoln's husband? Oh my God. What kind of crazy drama is this? I always thought it was strange. Why does Rachel Lynn have a problem with Tina Lincoln? I thought beautiful women were supposed to appreciate each other." Exactly, now I finally understand. They're actually in a competitive relationship. Who exactly is the daughter-in-law of the richest man? Who's the legitimate one, and who's the mistress? Tina Lincoln stood protectively in front of Lucas and loudly declared her sovereignty. What's there to think about? Of course, I'm the legitimate one, and Rachel Lynn is the mistress. Otherwise, how could I have gotten the supplementary card while Rachel Lynn didn't? At this point, Tina Lincoln seemed to have a sudden realization. "I was wondering why you looked down on me so much yet still came on this cruise with us. So you were waiting for this moment. Did you really think I'd just step aside foolishly if I found out about your relationship with Lucas? I'm telling you, don't even dream about it. Although Lucas and I haven't gotten our marriage certificate yet, I've already met his parents, relatives, and friends. What's more, I'm already carrying the Duncan family's flesh and blood in my belly." Lucas was pacing anxiously beside her, completely at a loss for words, just frantically tugging at his own hair. I didn't expect him to stand up for anything anyway. I simply smiled calmly and said, "Fine, I'll step aside. I wish you a happy union and may you have many children soon." After saying that, I turned to leave, but Lucas suddenly grabbed my hand. Lucas pulled me forcefully to the side. "I really didn't know you and Tina were classmates. If I had known, I definitely wouldn't have had anything to do with her." I rolled my eyes. "You never cared about which school or class I was in. Is that my fault?" Lucas clicked his tongue. "That's not what I meant. Actually, Tina and I, well, she's just a financially struggling student I've been supporting. The whole thing with the child was really an accident. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd be hurt. Don't blame Tina either, she's just a simple girl, not like someone who grew up surrounded by money like you. Also, now is not the time to make a scene. First, open your card and at least pay the bill. With so many people here, if you don't pay, the whole world will know your fiancé cheated. Aren't you afraid of the embarrassment? Looking at Lucas, who was clearly in the wrong yet still acting so self-righteous. I couldn't help but find it laughable. Lucas and I were not a match in terms of social status. In fact, he was the child of my parents' driver. My father couldn't bear to see my mother suffer the pain of childbirth, so after I was born, not only did I take my mother's surname, but he also got a vasectomy right away, because Lucas and I often played together as children, and he was always very protective of me. My parents started to think of him as my childhood groom. Lucas's parents naturally had no objections and even took the initiative to change Lucas's surname. When I turned 20, Lucas and I held our engagement ceremony. We originally planned to get married right after graduating from university, but now, seeing that I wasn't speaking, Lucas grew a bit anxious. Say something, don't just stare at me. 6 million is no small amount. I can't come up with that kind of money. Hearing this, I slapped Lucas hard across the face. You truly disgust me. Although Lucas was very angry, he wouldn't dare to fight back even if he had 100 times the courage, but I still felt it wasn't enough. I was about to hit him a few more times when Tina Lincoln rushed over and shielded Lucas behind her again. Rachel Lynn, don't push your luck, you're just a shameless mistress. What right do you have to lay a hand on my husband? If anyone's going to hit anyone, it should be me, the rightful wife. Hitting you? You should be grateful I haven't laid a finger on you yet. Let me tell you, you'd better get as far away from here as possible right now, or else I'll make you. Lucas couldn't stop Tina Lincoln, but he also didn't dare to let her say anything more, so he directly slapped her. Can you shut up? If it weren't for you taking the card without permission, how could things have turned out like this? Tina Lincoln was hit and nearly broke down. The classmates watching the drama couldn't help but gasp in shock, and they all started speculating whether I was actually the legitimate partner. Of course, I didn't want to become the main character in such gossip, so I took the microphone nearby and explained, since things have escalated to this point, I need to clarify for everyone. First of all, Tina Lincoln said she is the future daughter-in-law of the wealthiest family, but that is false. Because my parents only have me as their daughter, and they have no son at all. Lucas is just the son of my family's driver. He impersonated my identity and deceived Tina Lincoln. He has nothing to do with my Duncan family. And one more thing, I looked at Tina Lincoln, who was standing there dumbfounded. I also reminded you last time that the wealthiest family only has a daughter who is already engaged. If you want to say that I am the third party in your relationship with Lucas, then you are mistaken. We were already engaged long ago, and you're only now realizing you're the third wheel in this relationship. But I think you probably knew all along, you just didn't care. After these words were spoken, everyone was stunned. Those who had been speculating about whether I or Tina Lincoln was the legitimate partner were left gaping, unable to speak for a long while. No wonder Rachel Lynn's expression looked so strange. If I were a woman and found out my partner had a wife outside, I'd find it strange too. Tina, didn't you say you were the main character at that century engagement ceremony? What's really going on here? Wait, from what Rachel Lynn said, it sounds like you knew Lucas was already engaged but still got involved with him. Isn't that knowingly being the other woman? Tina Lincoln stumbled a few steps and collapsed onto the nearby sofa. Unable to utter a single word in rebuttal, after all, she had just gone from being the future daughter-in-law of the wealthiest man to the future daughter-in-law of his driver. Such a drastic change in status is something no one could easily accept. Meanwhile, Lucas looked at Tina Lincoln with a pained expression and said to me somewhat angrily, Rachel Lynn, can you stop making a scene? The situation between the three of us is complicated. It's not something that can be explained in just a few words. Even if you don't care about your own reputation, don't your parents care about theirs? Hurry up and pay the bill first. Whatever issues we have, let's discuss them privately. Okay, I nodded. Okay. The captain immediately brought over the POS machine, and I naturally took out my bank card to swipe it. Seeing me swipe the card, Lucas breathed a sigh of relief and casually handed me the car keys. You go drive. It seems Tina isn't feeling well, and this is all your responsibility. We need to take her to the hospital. I didn't argue, just took the car keys and then got off the cruise ship. The crowd had seen enough of the commotion, so they followed me, wanting to leave, but were stopped by the captain. Sorry, Miss Lynn only paid for herself. She didn't pay for you, you have to pay before you can get off. I waved toward the cruise ship, which was met with a wave of screams, but I ignored them and drove away from the scene because I had other things to do. I didn't need to watch this kind of excitement in person. Not long after, the captain reported the follow-up to me. Actually, what followed was pretty much as I had guessed. Although Lucas was engaged to me, he didn't take much money from his family to show off. So over 6 million was an astronomical figure for him. He started demanding that everyone split the bill equally, but this was over 6 million, not 60,000, no one could afford it, so they all cursed the two of them mercilessly and even threatened to expose them online. With no other choice, Lucas had to use all his savings, but it still wasn't enough. In the end, he had to call his parents, who nearly emptied their entire family's savings to cover the full amount. Watching Lucas's dark expression in the video, I finally felt a bit happier. That cruise ship was originally my family's business, so in a way, we had taken back the money Lucas had earned from my family. I had just put down my phone when Lucas returned, and not just him, his parents and Tina Lincoln, her face pale as a sheet, were all there too. Seeing me there, Lucas was a bit surprised, but he quickly regained his composure. I understand now. Did you figure out the truth when you ran into Tina at the counter? Don't you think it's too much to play with Tina like this? Now everyone is calling her the other woman, and she's even having pregnancy complications. Do you know that, since you're at my house, I order you to apologize to Tina right now? Immediately, Lucas's father, Finn, tugged at Lucas's sleeve. There's still the money, don't forget about this, it's the most important thing. That's right, Lucas nodded. If my dad hadn't mentioned it, I would have forgotten. You still have to return the over 6 million I paid. I was amused. In the end, it was because I had been too good to Lucas before, making him forget his own status and truly think I couldn't manage without him. Before I could speak, Tina Lincoln sighed. Rachel, I know you think I'm with Lucas because he's rich, but that's not it. My feelings for Lucas are more about gratitude. I am grateful for his support, so I want to bear children for him. You are right, I have long known that Lucas has a fiancée, but I never intended to take that position. I just wanted to be able to see Lucas often, so, you can rest assured that my child and I will never threaten your position. This declaration of being content with a lesser role for the sake of love made me unable to resist clapping. Well, that was truly moving. Even I, the wicked woman, am touched. Not only did I think it was good, but Lucas was so moved that tears streamed down his face. Rachel Lynn, just look at yourself, and then look at Tina. Why can't you learn from Tina? Why do you have to monopolize me? I rolled my eyes. Lucas, have you forgotten? I don't want to monopolize you. I made it very clear on the cruise ship yesterday. I'm stepping out of this twisted relationship of yours, letting you two lovebirds be together. Lucas's face turned pale. His mother, Fiona, stepped forward and took my hand, speaking earnestly. Rachel, don't joke like that. Rest assured, you will always be Lucas's rightful wife, but you know yourself. Lucas is your live-in son-in-law, and any future children will take your family name. He just wants to leave a descendant for the Newman family. Don't worry, Tina Lincoln is just a hotel, only you are home. I sneered coldly and directly shook off Fiona's hand. Aren't you mistaken? Changing the surname was something you all pushed for yourselves. What are you talking about? Without our Duncan family, you wouldn't be where you are today. You practically begged and made a scene to change the surname. Now, if you feel the Newman family name has no one to inherit it, just change it back. Lucas and Fiona looked embarrassed, while Finn couldn't hold back his anger and pointed at me, shouting, Rachel Lynn, don't you dare be ungrateful. You think you're so great just because you have a few lousy bucks. Don't forget, your company wouldn't be where it is today without my son's contributions. If you dare to burn the bridge after crossing it, we'll make you go bankrupt. Believe it or not, what a bold statement. My parents worked their whole lives to become the wealthiest, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Lucas, that useless live-in husband. Fiona chimed in as well. Exactly, my son is so outstanding, he could find any wife he wants. If it weren't for your money, you wouldn't even be worthy of my son. Perhaps the words of Finn and Fiona gave Lucas confidence, as he shamelessly said, All right, Rachel, stop making a fuss. You grew up in high society. Don't you know it's normal for a man to have a stable home while also having affairs outside? Tina is well behaved. She won't cause you any trouble. Let's just stick to what we agreed on last time and get married as soon as possible. That way, you won't have to worry day in and day out, afraid that I'll leave you. After all, your parents need me, and your family's business needs me too. I couldn't bear to listen any longer and quickly raised my hand to cut him off. You probably haven't been to the company yet, have you? Then let me personally inform you, you've been fired, even if you are 1 in 10,000. There are countless such talents across all of China. Besides, you're not quite that exceptional. Lucas stared at me for a long time before suddenly bursting into laughter. If I didn't know you well enough, I might actually believe you're serious. Even though the company belongs to your parents, I'm also a key pillar. You can't just dismiss me like that. Besides, if you're going to put on an act, you should at least consider the setting. If you really wanted to break up with me, why didn't you have your butler inform me? Why wait for me at home? Aren't you just trying to scare me into breaking up with Tina? Finn and Fiona turned pale when they first heard me say I was fired, but after listening to Lucas's words, they relaxed and said with some smugness, "Exactly, blame your father for this. He insisted on not wanting your mother to suffer, so he only had you, a girl, and even insisted on you taking your mother's surname. The Duncan family's vast fortune can't be left without a man to inherit it. Who in the entire company doesn't know that my son is the designated heir of the Duncan family? Everyone obeys his every word. Who would dare to fire my son? My son changed his surname to Duncan precisely to inherit the Duncan family's wealth. He is the son of the Duncan family." Tina Lincoln listened, gently stroking her belly, and smiled with a hint of pride. "Exactly, such a large enterprise can't possibly be handed over to a woman, can it? I'm not biased against girls, but I am indeed carrying a son, Rachel. If you think daughters are better, you can always have a few in the future. I'll definitely tell my son to treat his younger sisters well." I applauded for them in my heart. Truly, birds of a feather flock together. Only after I had laughed enough did I speak up. "You've misunderstood. I am indeed letting you live in this villa, but the actual owner is still me. I came here today just to kick you out." With that, I pointed to the people nearby who were packing things up. "If you hadn't been so eager to demand an apology from me the moment you came in, and instead talked about your Edinburgh nonsense here, you would have definitely noticed that everyone is packing your belongings, right?" Only then did the four of them realize that I wasn't joking at all. I was truly serious about cutting ties with Lucas. Finn and Fiona immediately rushed to their bedrooms. A scream was quickly let out. "Where have all my jewelry and accessories gone? Give them back to me quickly. Those are all things belonging to my Newman family." I rolled my eyes. "Your things? It seems you've forgotten who you really are. Those items were all sold to you by me. If I can give them to you, I can take them back. Not just this villa, but also your cards, your cars, and everything you own. I've taken it all back. If you have any objections, feel free to sue me in court. After all, I have both the money and the time." And the entire group's legal team is just sitting idle. Lucas was left speechless, while Tina Lincoln frantically questioned him. "What on earth is going on? Didn't you tell me that even though you're the driver's son, the group couldn't function without you? Didn't you also say that you're already a self-made millionaire, and even if you split from the Duncan family, you could start over on your own? What does this mean now? Do we not even have a house or a car anymore?" I smiled and kindly told Tina Lincoln, "Class beauty, don't get so worked up. Our family's company can run just fine without anyone. The person who can bankrupt us hasn't shown up yet, but I know you're anxious. But don't rush. Didn't you say you only love Lucas for who he is and don't care about money? I'm doing you a favor. He's broke as a joke now, but he's still here. Isn't that exactly what you wanted?" Even though my words were dripping with sarcasm, Tina Lincoln really had no mind to argue with me at that moment. She just kept pressing. "Lucas, say something. Is what Rachel Lynn said true?" Lucas flung Tina Lincoln aside and knelt at my feet with a pleading expression. "Rachel, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I was just seduced by this bitch. In my heart, there's only you. I'll cut ties with her right now. Please don't drive me away. I'm begging you. I really can't live without you." Finn and Fiona also rushed out of the bedroom, crying so hard they nearly fainted, but they didn't dare to lose their temper like before. Instead, they spoke cautiously. "That's right, Rachel. I know Lucas was wrong in this matter, but he can change his ways. He just made a mistake that all men are prone to make. It's not such a big deal. A prodigal son's return is more precious than gold. Finn, guarantee with my life that he will never do anything to wrong you again." You acted out a scene and followed Tina Lincoln onto the cruise ship, all just to make Lucas regret it, didn't you? Now he regrets it. You've won. Even Tina Lincoln joined in, pleading with me. "Rachel, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so materialistic. I shouldn't have knowingly been the other woman. I truly know I was wrong. I can leave Lucas and give him back to you. I don't want this child either. Just give me a sum of money, and I'll go abroad, never bothering you again." The noise was overwhelming, making my head buzz. "Shut up, all of you. I may have money, but I'm not crazy. I'm doing this just to make sure you get what you deserve. I never intended to take back such trash. You say you can't live without me, but I think it's the money you can't live without. But you're all adults, and the situation has come to this point entirely because of your own actions." After saying that, I immediately called over the bodyguards waiting nearby and had them escort the group out. After handling everything, I directly boarded a private jet and went abroad to recuperate. However, due to the incident on the cruise ship, Tina Lincoln and Lucas became the hottest topics in our class group chat. Although I didn't participate, I learned about their subsequent developments through everyone's discussions. Lucas was expelled from the company by my parents and was completely blacklisted in the industry. He called me no less than 1,000 times and sent me no less than 10,000 apology messages. I didn't respond to any of them because I knew he wasn't truly remorseful. It was just a temporary measure. Under the indifference from me and my parents, Lucas finally came to terms with reality, realizing that returning to the Duncan family as a son-in-law was no longer possible. He broke down and placed all the blame on Tina Lincoln. Ignoring Tina Lincoln's pregnancy, he violently attacked her. However, Tina Lincoln was not one to be trifled with. She immediately called the police and posted the entire story of how she was deceived online, turning Lucas's family into public enemies, despised by everyone. She herself went live while getting an abortion, capitalizing on the popularity of the clear-headed female protagonist to start making money. Many people in the group said she wouldn't be able to keep it up for long, and that I would definitely step in to discipline her when I couldn't stand it anymore. But I didn't, because with someone like Tina Lincoln, if I really took action, it would only dirty my hands. Besides, if it weren't for Tina Lincoln, I might have actually ended up marrying Lucas, so in a way, she could be considered my benefactor. Moreover, I also understand Lucas. As the saying goes, it's easy to go from frugality to luxury, but hard to go from luxury to frugality. He blames Tina Lincoln for his current situation, so how could he possibly stand to see her doing well? Let them fight like dogs. I'll just sit back and enjoy the show. Besides, I have more important things to do. After the incident with Lucas's betrayal, my parents also realized that relying on others is not as reliable as relying on oneself, as people's hearts are always hidden. So they dragged me back from abroad and practically coaxed, deceived, pressured, and begged me to take over the company. However, I'm not afraid of anything, because women are never inferior to men. If Lucas can take over the company, I can naturally do it too, and I can even make it thrive. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.